Yo, so I want to make a new video on the massive patch that happened today in Path of Exile, the big reveal, the patch notes and all that, a quick TLDR, and of course my thoughts on the MF changes, as a lot of people are probably wondering, what I think about that. So I have this whole list here of essentially the TLDR, the patch notes, of what I think is the most important aspects, and yeah. So I won't go over the lead mechanic. If you want to watch the lead mechanic, I suggest watch the content reveal. It'll explain it better than I could, right? So yeah. TLDR of the patch notes. So first is Quant removed. So what do I think about Quant removed? I think removing Quant's fine. Rarity is still in the game and Rarity still has its place. Uniques are very expensive, which I do expect Mage Blood to be very expensive with Quant removed. You'll still do some Rarity MF in here and there. But mostly I'm fine with Quant removed as long as the end game is in a nice place. If we can juice properly in the end game, if it's pretty challenging, then Quant removed is fine. I don't really care that much. And for those that are wondering, you can actually still get Quant gear in leagues. You can only get Quant 1 month in though. Legacy items such as Legacy Gold Worms come to the league 1 month in from old race rewards, and those are actually still attainable in the league. Now it's only 1 month in, and it'll be very, very expensive. But yeah, funnily enough, Quant's actually still in the leagues. There's only 1 month in. So yeah, overall, I don't care that much about Quant being removed as long as the end game is in a very good and fun state. Hopefully that is the case. Yeah, so let's go over this list real quick. So currency auction house is in the game. So currency auction house, it costs gold to use. Gold is new currency in Path of Exile. And yeah, it's essentially everything in the game, but at rares and uniques. So catalyst, oil, scarabs, div cards even, right? Everything. Very, very nice. We'll see how this works out. I'm personally really excited for this. I don't like an auction house for like items, but in terms of auction house for currency items, I'm definitely all aboard for it. So this should be pretty good, hopefully. And this is usable in your hideout. So yeah, Glitter and Scarab is still in the game. So despite Quant being removed, Glitter and Scarab is actually still in the game, which is kind of surprising because essentially this makes Glitter and Scarab all mandatory for any high-end juicing. I'm not sure if that's what they want, but yeah, Glitter and Scarab being in the game is kind of weird with Quant being removed on gear. Before, Glitter and Scarab had like a opportunity cost because like if you had Quant on gear, you didn't need Glitter in. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see if it stays, but yeah. Totems removed. So if you're unaware, melee totems are just removed from the game. And yep, that's pretty much it. Beyond Scarab. So the Beyond Scarab invasion is now rare monsters instead of unique monsters. So this was the scarab we used back in Necropolis to essentially spawn thousands upon thousands of monsters. And it's now rare monsters, which is actually better. And it's potentially insane for juicing, especially with the new tier 17 mod that makes rare enemies fracture. So if you don't know what fracture is, it's a new tier 17 mod. And when a rare enemy fractures, it splits into more rare monsters when it dies. Now, presumably, I think these tier 17 fracture monsters should still spawn beyond portals, making this a potentially insane combo that we would want in tier 17 juice farming. So yeah, I thought I would mention this. Tinctures are now core, they're reworked, they're a lot weaker, and also drain your mana until you run We'll really have to see when the patch goes live and test them out to see if they're actually good or if they're just bad, but yeah, they are core. Radio reworked, it's now called the Warden. It focuses on tincture and elemental damage, and it has some potentially insane interactions and extremely high damage potential. I'll probably make a video on the Warden next because this ascendancy is actually kind of absurd with the amount of damage it can deal. Div Scarabs overall massively nerfed. There is a new Div Scarab called Div Scarab Pilfering, which essentially makes any div card that would drop from your map instead drop from the final boss. So yeah, if you use this with destructive play, this should work with this new Divination Scarab, potentially tripling or quadrupling your div cards in your map, and also gives you 100% more div cards found. So yeah, this is potentially really, really insane with destructive play, giving you an absurd amount of div cards. We'll see how it plays out though. But besides that, Curation is gone, Rusted Div Scarab is gone, Completion is gone. Completion got replaced with this one. So yeah, overall Div Scarabs are nerfed, but potentially this new Div Scarab Pilfering can be really insane. More map juice with some new chisels. So we got some new chisels that give you 100% more divination cards or 100% more currency or like 100% more scarabs. So yeah, just more potential ways to juice your map, and these are usable on both tier 16 and tier 17. The Wisp Scarab got massively buffed. It's now 2,000 Wisp instead of 1,000. So it's 8,000 Wisp with 4 Scarabs. Potentially this could be really, really strong now. You know, before in Necropolis, 4,000 Wisps just really wasn't that great, but 8,000 Wisps, that is definitely really strong. So unique Scarabs overall nerfed, but might find some niche cases. So just like Div Scarabs, it's mostly just nerfed. Gloom Shrines can now spawn naturally, meaning the shrine nodes on your Atlas. You're just taking this to have a chance to spawn a shrine, can now spawn on Gloom Shrine, which is really, really nice for map clear. Back to basics removed, which is, I'm very, very glad. If you watched me last league, you know how much I hated back to basics. I thought this keystone shouldn't have been in the game. So I'm very, very glad for this to be removed. The Meteor tier 17 mod has a 2-second cooldown, pretty much making it not dangerous anymore. It's a free mod. Before in tier 17s, if you rolled this mod and you had auto flask on, it would just constantly spamming with meteors as you killed more and more monsters. So yeah, great change. Not that annoying anymore. Union of Souls also removed, so another bad tier 17 mod. Unfortunately, there's still a lot of terrible tier 17 mods. I'm not really sure why they kept them. Like the ones that have like reduced action speed is still in the game. Barrel Scarab and Barrel tier 17 are removed. Once again, I'm very happy about this change. I did not like the barrel meta, and I'm very, very glad it's gone. I do think the barrels and Fortress map are still there though, so it might still be the best overall map for farming and juicing. Ghostin and Ghost nerfed. So they nerfed Ghost quite a bit. They nerfed all the Atlas nodes for Ghost. They don't no longer give Quant on the Atlas tree. I believe these small nodes here, these used to give Quant, and now it's just chance to spawn Tormented Spirit. So yeah. Bandits reworked. So Bandits no longer reserve mana, but the overall a lot weaker, but it's free, so it just requires 1 gem slot. Yeah. Quant and rarity on lead mechanics have been buffed. So they buffed essentially every lead mechanic by just giving them more quant and rarity. In exchange, when you stack buffs on a rare monster, it no longer multiplies all the modifiers together to give us some insane quant and rarity bonus. So if you remember back in the Necropolis League, how people would just stack a lot of modifiers on a meat sack and it would drop dozens upon dozens of uniques. That would no longer be possible with this change. But you know, in exchange, they're making the average lead mechanic monster you kill be more rewarded, which is pretty nice. Base crit and attack speed buffed and a lot of underused weapons. So wands, claws, scepter, daggers, and staffs. And to be more precise, claws, the base base Imperial Claw, got 1% more base crit, I believe from 7 to 8%. Wands, the best attack base one and build one, got 0.1 more attack speed and 1% more base crit. So really, really good buffs. All melee skills buffed roughly by 75%, but totems are removed. Overall, this is still a massive, massive buff. Obviously, it's going to be a melee league. I might play a melee skill myself, still deciding, but yeah. Melee skills should be very, very strong this league. Just massive damage buffs. All spells now scale slightly better at gem level, slightly more damage effectiveness at level 20. So I believe every spell in the game they added this to. Before, most spell gems just did not have their damage effectiveness scaled at all at gem levels. Now they do actually scale, and it's a damage bonus after gem level 20. So yeah, slight damage bonus on some spells. 30% quality bases are now drop only. Bestiary, Corrupt, and Perfect fossils are gone. So there is no way in the game to get a 30% quality base by crafting. You have to drop it as a 30% quality base. That is the only way now, making this kind of like a semi-new chase item to look after. Yeah, so these will be quite expensive. People will probably pay pretty high for these. New weapon enchantments in the league mechanic are absolutely insane. For example, you can get return projectiles in your bow, which means you won't need nimmies, and the only thing you lose out is 8% fizz mod. This is an enchantment. It's not an implicit, it's not an explicit, it's just an enchantment, similar to the harvest enchants. So yeah, these are absolutely insane. There's some other ones like 100% increase elemental damage on the local modifiers. There's 50% fizz damage as extra elemental damage of each element. So these are really absurd. I'm so surprised that they're actually introducing these. It seems like most of these at the high end just should up double your damage. Like I said, return product just doubles your damage. 100% increase a local elemental damage weapon also just doubles your damage, right? So yeah, these are really insane power creep. was kind of surprised to introduce them, and we're pretty much just getting Vengeance Cascade again, except it's on our weapon enchant and not on amulet. Anyway, it is definitely going to make projectiles once again top tier, as they always have been, because yeah, I mean, getting free return projectiles is really silly. So anyway, that was the quick TLDR of the patch notes of what was important to me, and overall I think what was the most important changes in the patch notes. Of course, there was also Gladiator rework, Berserker got a little bit changed, Juggernaut got changed, Chieftain got changed. Yeah, I didn't want to make the video too long. I just wanted to point out what was important to me, my thoughts about the quant removal. Maybe I'll have a later video about quant, but for overall, I think the patch is pretty good. The mechanic looks okay. I have to actually play to see how it is. Excited for the patch. I do wish tier 17s, they kind of removed more mods for them, or made you not want to roll as much chaos. But overall, it does look like a pretty fun league, and a lot of new skills to try out. So yeah, that's about it. I think my next video will be on Warden, as I think Warden is just absolutely insane.